Let's talk about an idea that sounds like it's straight out of a disaster movie. Could a single rock, just one asteroid from space, actually send our entire planet into a new ice age? Well, the science says it's way more plausible than you'd think, and how it could happen is absolutely incredible. Let's get into it.
Okay, first things first, we really need to wrap our heads around this central idea. Section 1, a rock creates an ice age? Yeah, it's an astonishing premise.
So let's just ask the question straight up. Is it really, truly possible for one object from space to trigger a global deep freeze? I mean, the scale just seems impossible, right? How could one event change everything?
Well, believe it or not, this isn't just sci-fi. The answer is a fascinating maybe, and it's totally grounded in real-world science. We're talking physics, geology, and our planet's incredibly delicate climate. It seems like it's all about the right kind of rock, hitting the right spot, at exactly the right or maybe wrong time.
So, how could this actually happen? It's not as simple as just, boom, instant ice. The planet itself has to be, well, ready for it. Which brings us to Section 2, setting the stage for cold. The planet has to be primed for a deep freeze. And this is where we need a really cool concept called Milankovitch cycles. Now, these are the slow, kind of predictable changes in the Earth's wobble, its tilt, and its orbit around the sun. You can think of them as the great cosmic pacemakers that have set the rhythm for ice ages for millions of years. But here's the key part. These cycles, they can bring on cooler periods, making it easier for ice to build up. But, and this is a big but, they don't always pull the trigger. Sometimes the planet just gets a little chilly for a while, but it never tips all the way into a full-blown ice age. The stage is set, but the main event never happens. So you can kind of break it down into 3 steps. First, those orbital cycles start a general cooling trend. That makes our whole climate system vulnerable, almost like it's teetering on a knife's edge. But to actually push it over, you need a huge trigger event to give it that final decisive shove. And that, right there, is where our rock from space comes into the picture. All right, so let's get into the nitty-gritty of that trigger. How exactly does an asteroid impact cause this level of chaos? Welcome to Section 3, the Climate Disruption Playbook. We're going to look at 3 different ways this could go down. In the first path, it's all about what gets blasted up into the sky. And this idea is absolutely critical. The key is not necessarily its size, but its effect on atmospheric composition. So it's not just about a big bang, it's about the chemical fallout. Let's compare 2 different scenarios here. Over on the left, you've got the famous dinosaur killer. Now, it kicked up a ton of dust and ash, causing a brief impact winter, sure. But that was followed by a whole lot of warming from released CO2. The result? A mass extinction, yeah, but not a lasting ice age. Now look at the right. An ice age trigger is totally different. Imagine an asteroid hitting sulfur-rich rocks. It creates these super reflective particles called sulfate aerosols. These little things can hang out in the stratosphere for years, not months, blocking the sun and kicking off a long-term cooling that could absolutely lead to glaciation. Okay, so that's one way, but there's another. Let's talk about path number 2, the volcanic cascade. In this scenario, the impact doesn't just mess with the air, it shakes the very foundations of the Earth. It's a truly devastating chain reaction. The impact sends seismic waves, basically a mega earthquake, rippling across the entire globe. These waves can weaken fragile tectonic boundaries, essentially waking up volcanoes all over the world. The result is widespread sulfur-rich eruptions that pump even more sun-blocking stuff into the sky, making the initial cooling from the impact itself even worse and last even longer. And for our third and final path, we're moving from the solid ground and diving deep into the oceans. Path number 3 is all about disrupting the planet's main heat engine. Hitting the ocean is a total game changer. For one, it vaporizes a huge amount of water, creating planet-shading clouds. But the big one is that the shockwave could disrupt what's called thermohaline circulation. You can think of it as a giant underwater conveyor belt that's constantly moving warm water from the equator up to the poles. If you shut that down, it can trigger shockingly fast cooling, especially in the North Atlantic, which is like a master control switch for the whole planet's climate. Okay, so this all sounds plausible in theory, but has anything remotely like this ever actually happened? Well, for that, we have to play detective. Let's move to Section 4 and look for clues in Earth's deep past, echoes of cosmic triggers in the rock. And to find our first big clue, we have to go way, way back in time. We're talking 450 million years ago. That's so long ago, it makes the dinosaurs seem like they were around yesterday.
So check out this timeline. It really helps put things in perspective. Way back on the left, you have the Late Ordovician Ice Age, which caused a massive extinction. Then, much later, there's the famous Chicxulub impact. But look all the way to the right. Just a blink of an eye ago in geologic time, we had this sudden, intense cold snap called the Younger Dryas. We're going to look closer at the first and the last of these.
And this is where we find the potential cosmic fingerprints. Geologists have found that the Late Ordovician Ice Age happened right around the same time as a huge asteroid breakup that filled the inner solar system with sun-dimming dust. And for the much more recent Younger Dryas, it's still debated, for sure, but some scientists point to really compelling evidence, like weird layers of platinum in the soil, a classic sign of a comet impact that might have triggered that rapid cooldown.
So what does all this mean? Where does this leave us? This brings us to our final section, where we tie it all together. Section 5, a planet on the edge, and understanding our fragile climate balance.
This chart really puts the raw power into perspective. You see that smaller bar? That's the huge 1815 eruption of Mount Tambora. It caused the year without a summer and dropped global temperatures by about 1 degree Celsius. Now look at the other bar. A major asteroid impact could release so much more cooling stuff into the atmosphere, causing a far more dramatic and long-lasting drop in temperature.
And here's where a little push can turn into a giant, unstoppable shove. It's a process called feedback amplification. The initial cooling lets more snow and ice form, while ice is bright white, so it reflects more sunlight back into space. This reflection causes even more cooling, which leads to more ice, which reflects more sun. You see where this is going? It's a runaway train. The system starts cooling itself.
So the ultimate takeaway here is kind of a paradox. On one hand, our planet's climate is incredibly resilient over the long haul, but it's also really vulnerable to the right kind of shock at just the right time, especially a shock that lines up with a cooling trend that's already underway. It's a system of incredibly delicate balances.
And that leaves us with one last big thought to chew on. If our global climate is so sensitive that a single rock from space could, in theory, send it spiraling into an ice age, what does that say about the scale and power of our own sustained impact on that exact same system? It's a pretty sobering reminder of just how connected everything really is, from the cosmos way up there to the ground right here beneath our feet.